It's only the beginning of autumn and you're already cold? Make yourself a cozy cardigan to snuggle you in. And you don't have to fear the upcoming winter.
Hello, you're very welcome. So in this video I will show you how you can make yourself such a nice cozy cardigan with a shawl color. And this one is made from a cotton rayon blend. It's a nice ribbed jersey, which is nice and flowy. But you can also make it from a very chunky wool. And I will show you an example of that in the end of the video. So without further ado, let's begin. To get the pattern, follow the link in the description of the video or go to dressdeveloper.de, patterns, top, and there you have the cardigan lily. Click on create pattern. And there you have two versions. You can sew it with or without bastard. And select a size, enter the desired length, add seam allowance, and then I can create the pattern. There you go. You need to cut one back piece, cut on the fold, two front pieces, two sleeve pieces, two collar pieces, both cut on the fold, and two cuff pieces.
I begin with sewing the darts. Line up the notches and pin everything in place. Then I sew from the side to the bust point. Since I'm working with stretch fabric here, I am using a zigzag stitch for this, so that these stitches don't pop out later. The thread ends are tied into a simple knot. I use a needle to push the knot against the fabric.
Now when you have a cuff, fold the short edges together and then fold it in half. And then you sew along this slightly angled edge, and then when you have done this, you can fold it over like this, and then you have a cuff with a seam allowance nicely enclosed and fixed in place, so nothing can crumble up in the washing machine. Nice trick I learned just recently. And I will prepare the color in the same way. I lay the short edges together, only one side, we don't want to close it around. And then I fold it lengthwise like this. And then I will sew this edge.
Next, I line up the shoulder seams and sew them. I'm using my serger for all of the construction seams, but you can use a simple zigzag stitch instead.
I like to set in my sleeve before I close the side seam. So here is the armhole. You have a single notch indicating the sleeve point in the front and a double notch for the back. And here's the shoulder. So I now take my sleeve. There's a notch on the very top of the sleeve and I line this up with the shoulder. And now we need to join these two curves, which does look impossible at the beginning, but trust me, it doesn't. So you line up the edges. Then you line up the notches. It's okay that everything is bunching up. Okay, here the front notch. And then, pull this up right now. And then we need to divide everything evenly. So this is a stretchy fabric, so it feels right to stretch everything to fit in place, but please don't. Trust me, it will fit even without stretching too much. You don't want to line up the edges here, but you want to line up the sewing line. That's a difference. Okay. And last bit here. Put a pin in the center. Divide everything in place. There you go. Now we need to sew this.
When the sleeves are set in, we sew the side seam from the wrist all the way down to the hem.
While your sleeves are still turned inside out, take your cuffs and push it into the sleeve at the wrist. Line up the side seam. There you go. Then add some clips in the round. And now we just sew all around.
Note that I'm sewing inside the sleeve. This way I have plenty of room for the presser foot. I still need to finish the ends of the collar. I do this by folding the fabric right sides together and sew the edge. Then I clip the corner and turn the collar inside out. Remember, we already joined the two collar pieces into one long strip.
Now find the center of the back neck opening. And place the seam of the collar on top. Now you pin the collar all around the front opening, but short of the seam allowance at the very end. So seam allowance stays open. I will put a clip here. And then I will go all around, pinning the collar in place. Okay, don't twist the collar. Okay, where's the center again? Here. There you go. I pin the collar all around.
When the collar is sewn in place, sorry, I don't have any footage of that for whatever reason. Well, you fold the hem over to the inside and over the edge of the collar and pin everything in place so we can sew it down. I did serge the edge previously and I'm using a simple plain running stitch to sew it down. I have never one of these seams broken on me, so I think a plain straight stitch is fine. But if you want to be extra sure, use a zigzag stitch for this. And that's the last step before your new cardigan is finished.
So the cardigan is done. I hope you could follow all steps. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I'm glad to help. I just love this type of cardigan. It's so nice and cozy, and I think it looks very elegant without trying. And it's so comfy. You can make it out of a medium weight cotton jersey and keep the first chills of autumn away, but you can also make it out of a very hefty, thick wool fabric. I will show you one I made years ago and loving to pieces. This cardigan serves me very well even in the depth of winter. Loving that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little video and I'm looking forward to see you in my next one. Bye!